There is a specific kind of exhaustion that sleep cannot fix. It is not physical tiredness. It is not the fatigue of a hard day's work. It is something deeper. It is a heaviness that sits in the center of your chest, a subtle, persistent pressure that follows you from the moment you wake up to the moment you close your eyes. You look at your life and, on paper, everything seems correct. You wake up early, you work hard, you take care of your responsibilities, you maintain your home, you do exactly what you were told a successful, responsible human being should do, and yet, the weight remains. It feels like you are walking through water. It feels like you are carrying an invisible backpack filled with stones, and no matter how fast you run, the drag is always there. If you are listening to this, you likely feel this weight, and you don't know why. Here is the truth. We spend our entire lives accumulating. We think of accumulation as physical things, money, cars, houses, but the most dangerous accumulation is invisible. We hoard expectations. We hoard the opinions of others. We hoard ways of thinking that do not belong to us. We hoard a version of ourselves that was created years ago, a version that no longer fits the person we have become. Now that we have buried the old identity, we must confront the mechanism that keeps the old identity alive. We must confront the addiction that drains more energy than any physical labor ever could. Number 2, eliminate the illusion of control. Of all the burdens we carry, this is the heaviest. It is also the most deceptive because it disguises itself as a virtue. We tell ourselves that we are organized. We say we are planners. We pride ourselves on being on top of things. But there is a razor-thin line between preparation and neurosis. Preparation is building a boat because you know the ocean is unpredictable. Control is standing on the deck and screaming at the waves, demanding they move in the direction you prefer. Most of us are screaming at the waves. We live under the delusion that if we think hard enough, if we worry intensely enough, and if we micromanage every detail, we can force reality to submit to our will. We try to write a script for a life that is fundamentally improvised. This need for control stems from a deep, primal fear of the unknown. We equate uncertainty with danger. So, we grip the steering wheel of life so tightly that our knuckles turn white. We try to control how our partners perceive us. We try to control the exact trajectory of our careers. We try to control the timing of our success. But here is the brutal paradox. The more you try to control, the less control you actually have. When you are obsessed with a specific outcome, result X, you become blind to results Y and Z, which might be infinitely better than what you imagined. You are so fixated on the door you want to open that you do not see the walls crumbling down around you to reveal a horizon. Let's analyze the anatomy of this suffering. Think about how much mental energy you waste rehearsing conversations that have not happened yet. You pace around your room, imagining what they will say, then imagining your perfect rebuttal, then imagining their reaction. You write entire screenplays in your head, and then the real conversation happens, and the other person goes completely off script. They say something you didn't anticipate. What happens to you? You freeze, you panic, you feel frustrated. Why? Not because the conversation is going badly, but because it is not following your script. You are not listening to the human being in front of you. You are mourning the death of your fantasy. You have transformed everything into your responsibility. You act as the general manager of the universe. You believe that if you let go for 1 second, everything will collapse. This is an impossible burden. It is Atlas trying to hold up the sky. It is arrogance disguised as anxiety. The truth is, life is not controllable. People are not controllable. The future is not controllable. The only thing you have dominion over is your own intention, your own character, and your own action in the present moment. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. You control the arrow, the bow, and your aim. You do not control the wind. If you tie your happiness to hitting the target, you are a slave to the wind. If you tie your happiness to the quality of your aim, you are free. But we must go deeper than philosophy. We must look at the physics of reality. There is a concept in quantum mechanics known as the quantum Zeno effect. In simple terms, it suggests that a system cannot change while you are watching it. If you continuously observe an unstable particle to see if it has decayed, it will never decay. Your observation freezes the state. This applies metaphorically and perhaps literally to your life. Think of the pot of milk on the stove. If you stand there staring at it, waiting for it to boil, demanding it to boil, vibrating with impatience, it seems to take an eternity. The moment you turn your back, the moment you let go, it boils over. Why? Because desperation is a repelling force. When you are desperate for control, you are vibrating at the frequency of lack. You are broadcasting a signal to the universe that says, I do not have this yet, and I am terrified I never will. And the universe, being a giant mirror, reflects that lack back to you. By obsessing over the result, you are constantly collapsing the reality into a state of waiting. You are freezing the flow. Eliminating the need for control is not about becoming passive. It is not about sitting on the couch and waiting for miracles. It is about shifting your focus from the outcome to the process. It is about planting the seed with excellence, watering it with dedication, and then, this is the hard part, trusting the soil. You do not dig up the seed every hour to check if it is growing. If you do that, you kill it. You have to trust the dark, unseen intelligence of the soil. This act of letting go is terrifying for the ego. The ego loves the illusion of safety, but safety is a coffin. Growth requires risk. Love requires vulnerability. Success requires the possibility of failure. When you finally pry your fingers off the steering wheel, when you stop trying to strangle the life out of every moment, a strange thing happens. The anxiety dissipates, the heaviness lifts, and ironically, the results you were chasing so desperately, they start to show up. Not because you forced them, but because you made space for them. You move from force to power. Force is trying to break down a door. Power is realizing the door opens inwards, but you can only see that if you stop pushing. So, here is your instruction for this block. Identify one area of your life where you are gripping too tight. Is it a relationship? Is it a business deal? Is it your child's future? Look at it. Recognize that your grip is not helping, it is choking. Take a deep breath and let it go. Trust that you can handle whatever happens. Trust that the script life writes is often far more interesting than the one you wrote in your head. We carry so much dead weight that we forget to ask the most fundamental question of existence. Does this belief actually belong to me? Or am I just carrying it for someone else? Today, we are going to perform a forensic audit of your soul. We are going to identify and eliminate 10 specific invisible burdens that are keeping you stuck in a low frequency. This is not about adding more to your life. True prosperity, true expansion is not about addition. It is about subtraction. It is about stripping away the non-essential until only the truth remains. The greatest gift you can give yourself is to disappear for a while, perform this internal surgery, and return to the world as someone unrecognizable. So, let's begin the extraction. Number 1, eliminate the old identity. The first and most critical thing you must kill is your loyalty to who you used to be. Most people are walking around wearing a psychological costume that was stitched together 20 years ago. You are clinging to an identity that is conditioned by beliefs you inherited, not beliefs you chose. Think about the labels you use to describe yourself. I am shy. I am disorganized. I am bad with money. I am not the athletic type. I always leave things for the last minute. Where did these sentences come from? Did you possess these traits when you were born? No. These are sentences that parents, teachers, friends, or authority figures said about you when you were vulnerable. And because you were young, you accepted them as absolute truths. You accepted them as your DNA. But here is the dark psychology behind it. When people label you, they are rarely seeing you. They are projecting themselves. They are projecting their own fears, their own limitations, and their own absences onto you. A parent who is anxious about money tells you that money is hard to get, not because it is a universal law, but because it is their internal reality. And you, out of loyalty and survival, adopt that fear as your own. You incorporate their trauma into your identity. Without realizing it, you spend decades acting out a script written by other people. You mold yourself to fit the shape of their expectations. I want you to think about a specific limitation you have. Maybe you think you cannot lead. Maybe you think you are destined to be in debt. You recite this story to yourself every day. It becomes your comfort zone. Even if it is a miserable zone, it is comfortable because it is familiar. But to prosper, to truly move forward, you must be willing to betray your old self. The weight you feel in your chest is the friction between who you are and who you are pretending to be. Leaving the old identity behind is not about denying your past. It is about recognizing that you are not a prisoner of it. You are not a statue made of stone. You are a river. You are allowed to change your mind about who you are. If you were lazy at 20, you do not have to be lazy at 35. If you were timid in school, you do not have to be invisible in your career. Consistency with a past version of yourself is not a virtue. It is a cage. The most liberating moment of your life is when you realize, I don't have to be that person anymore. You can simply change. You can decide right now that the version of you who accepted scarcity, who accepted smallness, who accepted that this is just how I am, is dead. Bury him and walk away. We have addressed the identity you cling to and the control you desperately seek. Now we must face the environment that makes those things impossible to let go of. We must confront the addiction that is silently rewriting your neural architecture. Number 3, eliminate the digital noise. This is the most treacherous burden because our culture disguises it as an asset. We are told that knowledge is power. We are told to stay informed, to stay connected, to never miss a beat. But we have crossed a critical threshold. We have moved from the information age to the age of information obesity. We treat information the way a starving man treats food. We gorge on it. But most of what we consume is not nutrition. It is high fructose mental corn syrup. It is junk data. You wake up, and before your feet touch the floor, you reach for the device. Before you have had a single original thought of your own, you have downloaded the thoughts, fears, and agendas of 1,000 strangers. You read a headline that makes you angry. You see a photo that makes you jealous. You watch a video that makes you feel inadequate. By the time you brush your teeth, you are emotionally exhausted. You have consumed more data in 20 minutes than your ancestors consumed in a lifetime. And do not mistake this for staying informed. This is not learning. This is passive programming. Every piece of content you consume carries an energetic charge. When you scroll through a feed of outrage, you're not just reading words. You are consenting to carry that anger in your own body. When you watch a panic-inducing news cycle, you are voluntarily injecting cortisol into your bloodstream. You are renting out the sanctuary of your mind to the loudest bidder. 15 years ago, we talked about how television was alienating us, but television was an object in the room. You could stand up, walk away, and leave the noise behind. The smartphone is different. It is not an object. It is a prosthetic limb. It is a digital umbilical cord that we are terrified to cut. Because it is always with us, the silence is gone. And without silence, there is no self. This constant noise has a terrifying side effect, the death of independent thought. Most people no longer know what they think about anything. They only know what they should think. They do not have opinions. They have downloads. They wait for their algorithmic tribe to tell them who to hate, what to love, and how to react. They have outsourced their discernment to the hive mind. Eliminating this noise is not about becoming a hermit. It is about reclaiming your sovereignty. It is about realizing that your attention is the most valuable currency on earth, and you are spending it on things that make you hate your life. Number 4. Eliminate the poison of comparison. This brings us directly to the fourth burden, the conjoined twin of digital noise, comparison. If the phone is the delivery mechanism, comparison is the poison it delivers. The social media feeds you scroll through are not reality. They are curated hallucinations. They are the greatest hits albums of other people's lives, carefully edited, filtered, and staged. And yet, you sit there in your pajamas, feeling tired and messy, comparing your unedited behind-the-scenes footage with everyone else's movie trailer. This is a game you are rigged to lose. It creates a perpetual cycle of dissatisfaction. You could be having a perfectly good day, making progress in your own life, feeling content. Then you open the app. You see someone who is younger than you making more money. You see someone with a better body. You see someone traveling to a place you can't afford. And instantly your joy evaporates. The weight returns to your chest. The French philosopher René Girard called this mimetic desire. He argued that we don't actually know what we want. We only want what other people seem to want. We mimic their desires. You didn't care about that specific car until you saw him driving it. You didn't feel bad about your vacation until you saw her photos. You are infected by the desires of others, chasing ghosts that don't even belong to you. This comparison steals the present moment. I see people achieve incredible things. They get the promotion, they buy the house, but instead of celebrating, they immediately look sideways. Is it as big as his? Is it as fast as hers? They murder their own victory before it even takes its first breath. Here is the truth you must swallow. You are never seeing the full picture. You see the success, but you do not see the sacrifice. You see the smile, but you do not see the antidepressants. You see the wealth, but you do not see the debt or the moral compromise required to get it. You are envying a mirage. If you want to prosper, you must put blinders on. You must understand that there is no competition because there is no one else running your specific race. The only relevant metric is the timeline of your own life. Are you wiser than you were a year ago? Are you stronger than you were yesterday? If the answer is yes, you are winning. If the answer is no, then adjust your course. But do it based on your own internal compass, not because you looked over your shoulder at someone else's lane. When you stop looking sideways, you recover an immense amount of energy. You stop hemorrhaging your power to strangers on the internet. You begin to see your own life not as something lacking, but as something building, and suddenly you can genuinely celebrate others. Their success is no longer a mirror of your failure, it is just evidence of what is possible. You move from envy to inspiration, but this only happens when you put the screen down, silence the noise, and look at the reality right in front of you. We have silenced the noise and killed the comparison. Now we must face the enemy of all great things, haste. Number 5, eliminate the addiction to immediate results. If you want to destroy a human being's potential, you don't need to traumatize them. You just need to give them everything they want, the moment they want it. We live in the age of the Amazon Prime mentality applied to existence. We want the body of an athlete in 4 weeks. We want the wealth of a tycoon in 6 months. We want the wisdom of a sage after reading one thread on Twitter. And when the result doesn't arrive in that impossible timeline, we quit. We declare failure. We internalize the belief that we are broken. But you are not broken. You are just biologically confused. We have transferred the mechanics of technology to the mechanics of biology. In the digital world, you click and it happens. Speed is the metric of success. But in the natural world, the world where your body, your relationships, and your character actually live, speed is often a sign of cancer, not health. A tree that grows too fast has weak wood. It snaps in the first storm. A tree that grows slowly, fighting for every inch of root space, becomes oak. It becomes iron. You must eliminate the obsession with conquest and fall in love with construction. There is a profound difference. Conquest is an act of war. It is the emperor invading a foreign land to seize territory. It is fast, violent, and adrenaline-fueled. You can conquer a city in a day, but history tells us that what is conquered by the sword is often lost by the sword. It is unstable. Construction is different. Construction is the act of the architect. It is laying one brick at a time. It is boring. It is repetitive. It is invisible for a long time. When you are digging the foundation of a skyscraper, you go down before you go up. To the outside world, it looks like nothing is happening. It looks like a hole in the ground, but that hole determines the height of the tower. Most people today are addicted to the surface. They want the penthouse without digging the hole. They are obsessed with hacks, life hacks, biohacks, productivity hacks. They are looking for the cheat code. But let me tell you the truth that no influencer wants to sell you. There are no hacks for the things that matter. There is no hack for a 20-year marriage. There is no hack for a master-level skill. There is no hack for character. These things must be forged in the fire of time. This addiction to the immediate creates a generation of starters. I see them everywhere. They start a project with explosive enthusiasm. They post about it. They buy the gear. They tell everyone they have changed. 3 weeks later, the dopamine wears off. The grind sets in. The result isn't there yet, and they vanish. They pivot. They look for the next shiny object. They are digging 1,000 shallow holes and wondering why they never hit water. If you want to prosper, you must develop high time preference. This is an economic term, but it is a spiritual law. Low time preference is the child who wants the marshmallow now. High time preference is the adult who is willing to suffer now to build an empire for their grandchildren. You must learn to respect the gestation period. Every seed has a natural timing. You cannot scream at a seed to make it grow faster. You cannot pry open a flower bud to see the bloom. If you do, you destroy it. Yet, we do this to ourselves every day. We judge our progress too early. We look at our efforts after a month and say, it's not working. It is working. You just can't see it yet. The roots are spreading in the dark. Eliminating haste is an act of faith. It is saying, I am not building a shack for the summer. I am building a cathedral for the centuries. And cathedrals take time. When you stop rushing, a strange calm enters your life. You stop looking for the shortcut and you start looking for the standard. You stop asking, how fast can I get this? And you start asking, how solid can I build this? If you build with haste, you build for the ego. If you build with patience, you build for the soul. So, slow down. The only race is against your own potential, and that race is a marathon, not a sprint. Breathe, lay the next brick, and then the next. That is how you become immovable. We have dealt with your internal timeline. Now we must deal with your external cage. We must dismantle the invisible tribunal that you have allowed to set up shop in your head. Number 6, eliminate the fear of other people's opinions. Most men live their entire lives as if they are on trial. They wake up and put on a mask, hoping the jury will like it. They make decisions not based on what is right, but on what will avoid a guilty verdict from the public. But here is the liberating truth you need to internalize. There is no jury. The courtroom is empty. You are the only one in the room. We suffer from a cognitive bias known as the spotlight effect. We overestimate grossly how much other people are thinking about us. You walk into a room and think everyone is judging your shirt, your posture, your career choice. But the truth is, they are not looking at you. They are looking at themselves, wondering if you are judging them. Humans are narcissistic creatures. They are obsessed with their own survival, their own insecurities, and their own dramas. To them, you are just a background character in the movie of their life. Once you realize you are not the protagonist of their reality, you become free. But what about direct criticism? What about when they actually do judge you? You must understand the hidden physics of projection. Criticism is rarely about the target. It is almost always an autobiography of the critic. When someone attacks you for taking a risk, they are not identifying a flaw in your plan. They are revealing their own fear of failure. When someone mocks your discipline, they are not laughing at you. They are mourning their own lack of will. They are projecting their shadow onto your light. If a criticism hurts you, if it destabilizes you, it is not because the critic is powerful. It is because they hit a button that you left installed. If I call you a green elephant, you don't get offended. You think I'm crazy. Why? Because you know you are not a green elephant. There is no hook for the insult to grab onto. But if I call you incompetent or selfish and you crumble, it is because a part of you already suspects that is true. The critic just pointed at a wound you haven't healed. The solution is not to silence the critic. The solution is to heal the wound so that their words slip off you like water off a stone. You must reach a point of internal sovereignty. Sovereignty means you do not require a second vote to validate your reality. If you are happy with your choices, the lack of applause does not make them less valid. If you are aligned with your purpose, the presence of boos does not make you wrong. You stop asking, do they like me? And you start asking, do I respect myself? Number 7, eliminate the need to explain yourself. This brings us to the behavior that signals low status faster than anything else, the addiction to justification. Observe yourself in conversation. Someone asks you for a favor. You don't want to do it. Instead of saying, oh no, I can't do that, and what do? You launch into a defense attorney's closing argument. I can't come because my car is making a noise, and I have to wake up early tomorrow, and my aunt is visiting, and I really want to, but... Stop. Why are you offering a dossier of evidence? Because you believe that your no is not valid unless the other person agrees that it is valid. You are asking for permission to have boundaries. This is a subtle form of submission. It tells the world, my time and my desires are not mine. I must provide a valid excuse to keep them. And here is the trap. The moment you give a reason, you open the door to negotiation. If you say, I can't come because I don't have a ride, they will say, I'll pick you up. Now you are trapped. You have been checkmated by your own excuse. You must learn the power of the unjustified no. No, I can't make it. No, that doesn't work for me. I'm not interested. Full stop. Silence. Silence is a heavy tool. Most people are terrified of it. They rush to fill the silence with explanations because they feel guilty. Eliminate the guilt. You do not owe the world access to you. You do not owe anyone an explanation for how you spend your life, your money, or your energy. Your reasons are yours. They do not need to be peer-reviewed to be true. This applies to your big life choices too. If you want to change careers, leave a relationship, or start a new path, you do not need to convince your family or your friends that it is a good idea. If you spend hours trying to convince them, it's because you aren't convinced yourself yet. You're looking for them to sign off on your life so you don't have to take full responsibility for the risk. True maturity is the ability to make a decision that no one else agrees with and walk that path without looking back to see if they are following. When you stop explaining, you start commanding respect. People respect boundaries that are firm. They despise boundaries that are porous. When you explain, you are porous. When you declare, you are solid. So, the next time you feel the urge to offer an excuse, swallow it. Let the no hang in the air. Feel the discomfort. And then watch as the world adjusts to you. Instead of you twisting yourself into knots to adjust to the world, you are the judge in your own courtroom. Act like it. We have cleared the external battlefield. Now, we must enter the bunker. We must confront the enemy that lives inside the perimeter. This is where the work gets dangerous. It is easy to ignore a critic on the internet. It is much harder to ignore the critic that speaks with your own voice. Number 8, eliminate the fusion with your thoughts. Notice I did not say eliminate negative thoughts. That is the great lie of the modern positive vibes movement. They sell you the fantasy that a healthy mind is a quiet mind, or a mind that only produces sunshine. This is biological nonsense. The human mind is a survival engine, not a happiness generator. It is designed to scan for threats, replay failures, and simulate worst-case scenarios. It produces thoughts the way the heart produces beats or the lungs produce breath. You cannot stop it. If you try to stop negative thoughts by force, you will develop a neurosis. What you resist persists. Try not to think of a pink elephant, and you will see nothing else. The burden is not the thought itself. The burden is cognitive fusion. Fusion happens when you forget that you are the thinker and you believe you are the thought. A thought arises, I am a failure. In a state of fusion, you say, I am a failure. You wear the thought, you become it. In a state of separation, you say, I am noticing a thought that says I am a failure. Do you feel the difference? It is the difference between drowning in the river and sitting on the bank watching the water flow. You are the observer. You are the consciousness behind the noise. Most of the dark thoughts you carry are not even yours. They are echoes. They are recordings of your father's criticism, your teacher's doubt, or society's fear, playing on a loop in your subconscious. You have mistaken this old cassette tape for your own soul. The work of the high-value individual is not to silence the mind, but to debunk it. When the shadow speaks, you do not argue. You investigate. Is this true? Is this useful? Or is this just old programming trying to keep me safe by keeping me small? Treat your mind like a roommate who is slightly crazy. You listen to them, you nod, but you do not let them drive the car. You thank the thought for its input, and then you dismiss it. You are the sky. The thoughts are just the weather. The weather changes. The sky remains. Number 9. Eliminate self-sabotage, the upper limit. This brings us to the most baffling behavior in human psychology. Why do we destroy what we love? Why do we procrastinate on the project that could make us rich? Why do we pick a fight with our partner when the relationship is finally peaceful? Why do we stay up late doom scrolling when we promise to rest? We call these bad habits, but that is too shallow. These are acts of homeostatic regulation. In biology, homeostasis is the body's attempt to maintain a stable temperature. If you get too hot, you sweat to cool down. Your psyche has a thermostat too. It has a happiness setting that it is used to. If you are used to struggling, if your baseline identity is the victim or the chaotic one, then success feels dangerous. Peace feels foreign. When things get too good, when you start making money or feeling deep love, you hit your upper limit. Your nervous system panics. It says, we are in uncharted territory. This is unsafe. Go back to what we know. So you self-sabotage. You eat the junk food to feel the familiar shame. You blow the money to feel the familiar scarcity. You start the drama to feel the familiar chaos. You are unconsciously cooling the room down because you aren't comfortable with the heat of success. This is why lottery winners go broke. This is why dieters gain the weight back. They changed the external reality, but they didn't reset the internal thermostat. They didn't believe they were worthy of the new life. Eliminating self-sabotage requires you to spot the upper limit problem in real time. When things are going well, and you feel that sudden urge to ruin it, that urge to check out, to numb, to fight, recognize it. That is not you being broken. That is your ego trying to drag you back to the safety of the known. You have to learn to tolerate happiness. You have to learn to tolerate the absence of problems. For many people, peace is boring. They are addicted to the cortisol of their own destruction. You must break that addiction. When the urge to sabotage comes, hold your ground. Breathe through the discomfort of being successful. Breathe through the discomfort of being loved. Tell your nervous system, it is safe to be here. This is my new baseline. You do not need to destroy this. You deserve to keep it. You are no longer the person who needs chaos to feel alive. You are the architect, and the architect does not burn down his own house just because he's afraid of living in it. We have dismantled the identity, the ego, the noise, and the fear. We have cleared the debris. Now we stand at the final gate. This is the last barrier between you and the life you are trying to build. It is the most subtle barrier of all, because it hides behind the mask of humility. Number 10, eliminate the inability to receive. Observe yourself when something good comes your way. Someone pays you a genuine compliment. You did great work today. What is your reflex? Do you look them in the eye and say, thank you? Or do you deflect? Do you look down and say, oh, it was nothing, it was luck, the team did it? Someone offers to pay for your dinner. Do you accept graciously? Or do you fight them for the check because you feel indebted? Someone offers you an opportunity. Do you say, yes? Or do you immediately list the reasons why you are not qualified? We are taught that it is better to give than to receive. And while generosity is a virtue, the inability to receive is not humility. It is a wound. It is a silent declaration to the universe that says, I am not worthy of this. There is a dark psychology to this refusal. Giving feels safe because when you give, you are in control. You are the benefactor. You are the one with the power. Receiving requires vulnerability. It requires you to be open. It requires you to admit that you need or that you are seen. For many men, being seen is terrifying, so they deflect the light. But here is the metaphysical truth. You cannot prosper if you break the circuit. Abundance is a flow. It is a current. It must flow out of you in the form of work and generosity, and it must flow into you in the form of reward and love. If you block the in channel, you stop the flow. You become a stagnant pond, not a river. You are asking life for wealth, for love, for recognition. But every time life tries to hand it to you, you slap its hand away. You cannot ask for more while rejecting what has already arrived. To eliminate this burden, you must practice the art of the clean receipt. When a compliment comes, stand still. Do not deflect. Let it land. Feel the discomfort of being praised and simply say, thank you. When help is offered, take it. When love is given, absorb it. Stop trying to pay it back, immediately to zero out the balance. Relationships are not transactions, they are connections. You must believe in your core that you are a vessel capable of holding the good. Open your hands. You cannot catch anything with a fist. The conclusion. The sculptor's method. We have walked a long road in this hour. We have identified the 10 invisible weights that have been dragging you down, the old identity, the illusion of control, the digital noise, the poison of comparison, the addiction to haste, the fear of judgment, the need to justify, the fusion with thoughts, the upper limit, self-sabotage, the inability to receive. Notice that not a single item on this list required you to do more. I did not ask you to wake up earlier. I did not ask you to work harder. I did not ask you to buy anything. This entire philosophy is based on the via negativa, the negative way. Michelangelo was once asked how he created his masterpiece, the statue of David. He replied, "It is simple. I just removed everything that was not David." That is what we have done today. You do not need to build a new you. The you that is capable, powerful, and sovereign is already there. It has always been there. It was just buried under layers of other people's opinions, digital noise, and old trauma. We are simply chipping away the excess stone. We are exfoliating the soul. This process of elimination is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice. Tomorrow, the noise will try to return. The ego will try to grab the steering wheel. The old identity will knock on the door. You must stand guard. You are the custodian of your own consciousness. Do not try to eliminate all 10 things perfectly by tomorrow. That is the trap of haste. Pick one. Start with the noise. Or start with the complaints. Feel the lightness that comes when you drop just one stone from the backpack. And then drop another. You are walking away from this video lighter than you entered it. Walk slowly. Walk with purpose. And do not look back at the person you used to be. He served his purpose. He got you here. But he cannot go where you are going next. If this deep dive added value to your life, you know what to do. Subscribe to join the minority who chooses depth over distraction. Share this with one person who is carrying a weight they don't understand. And tell me in the comments, which of the 10 burdens are you dropping today? Write it down. Make it real. You are the marble, and you are the sculptor. Now, go create the masterpiece.